on certain very hot days, there are certain parts of a mountain that get really, really hot. And what that does is it creates a low pressure zone in that area, and the relatively higher pressure air from the valley will then flow up the mountain. It doesn't happen very often, but in certain situations it will. The opposite of that is a mountain breeze, which is a local downslope breeze that starts in the mountains. So the mountains have higher pressure than the valley below, which has lower pressure. So that creates a very local, small scale wind that flows from the high pressure up in the mountains to the low pressure. So valley breeze starts in the valley, flows up the mountains. The mountain breeze starts in the mountains and flows into the valley. That's pretty straightforward to remember. It's not like the onshore, offshore thing. It literally starts in the place where the name says it does in this case. And now to close out chapter 5, we're going to talk about two very special wind patterns that happen annually here in the western United States. So first we have the Chinook wind, which is a local downslope wind that forms on the leeward side of the Rocky Mountains. So the leeward side is closer to us. It's the side of the Rockies that don't get the rain that comes from the Pacific. So it's a very dry, warm downslope wind that flows from the Rocky Mountains eastward. On the flip side, we have the Santa Ana winds, which mainly affect California in the autumn months of the year. So with the Santa Ana winds, there's a very high pressure system that forms in the Great Basin part of our country, so roughly where Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, those states are. There's a very high pressure zone, and what that causes is a lot of that air will move towards California. And the effect it has on the climate is that it spreads wildfires very quickly. So wildfires in California tend to happen in the late summer into the fall months, and it's because of these winds. They make fighting the fires much more difficult than it otherwise would be for the firefighters, and the strong winds make it really easy for the fires to spread. So if you watch the news and see a news report in California about a wildfire, it's probably happening in the late summer or the fall months from about July to November, and that's because of these Santa Ana and Diablo winds that happen during this time period. So it's very important for the local climate in California. So that wraps up everything you'll need to know in Chapter 5. Now we're going to finish with Chapter 10.